Welcome to the All In Networker podcast. My name is Dan McCabe, and I'm on day 27 of All In 490. Today we're going to be talking about how to use stories in our business to overcome objections. So it's a good topic. Everybody needs to know. You need to implement this in your business. Excited to talk about it here today and give you an update of everything else that is going on right now in my journey. So let's go. Hey, what's up everybody? Dan here, and today is day 27, and if I were to be totally honest, which I should be with you, it is actually day 20. It is the morning of day 28. I tried to get this out last night and record it, and my computer decided it needed to update Windows 10. Yes, I still use a PC. I am 42 years old, and every single year I contemplate switching to Mac, and I just haven't pulled the trigger yet. This has been going on for decades. Who knows if it'll ever actually happen. But my computer decided to update to Windows 10, and at 10 o'clock last night when I was down here getting ready to record and that update started happening, I was watching it, and like a half hour in, it was like, we are 10% done, and I'm like, yeah, I am going to bed. So went to bed, woke up early, as normal, been up for a few hours here doing my normal morning routines, and just now getting more into work mode here, and carving out a little time to record this. So today we're going to talk about outside stories, and I want to talk about yesterday just a little bit. This journey, I mean, I've had my ups and my down days. If you've been listening to this entire thing, a lot of it's been full of ups and downs today. I would say mentally and physically yesterday was a pretty neutral day, but some parts of it, sometimes there wasn't a lot of excitement to it, despite the fact I had a good meeting with some of our top sales reps, and I had a good presentation. I think that our stuff is it's probably going pretty well, I would say. I would like it by this point to be going a little bit faster and a little stronger, but there is, no excuses. There's never any excuses. I want to say there's some things outside of my control that are causing some mental stress, mental headache that I'm dealing with throughout this process that's making it a little bit harder than it needs to be. But I am a big believer in we all have personal choices as well, and since I have those mental stresses, mental headaches, it is probably on me just as much as it is on the people that are helping provide those. So I don't know what else to say. I mean, I don't want to blame anyone, but geez, I just wish some people would get their crap together, and the direction and a lot of different things is just a lot more clear. So it's, is what it is, I'm going to ride it out probably just a little bit longer, but I am getting close to the point where I might, just cut those mental stresses out of my life so I can focus that much harder on the task at hand of building this business that just needs to be built for me, for you, to do it in front of people, and just so we can move faster. It's not, I can buck up and make the progress regardless of the situation, and I'll do it because I know what needs to get done. But man, I really feel like if I could, chop off some baggage, it would be really, really nice to move a lot faster. It would help. It would facilitate moving things a lot faster than I'm able to do the way the situation sets up now. So one of these days I'll write the book, and you guys will be like, man, what a bunch of crap. But we'll do that later. So for today, 27, I'm talking about outside stories. Outside stories are huge when developing and creating new relationships and presenting with people that are new to the industry, in particular, your product, whatever. You want to have stories, and you don't just want the guru stories. I remember I was even guilty of this once upon a time where I just used the guru stories. And it's okay to maybe use one of those, but what I mean by guru stories or unicorn stories is the person that's making $100,000 a month, $200,000 a month. If you've been around network marketing for any amount of time, you have met people that are doing that. You've seen them, you know them, you're friends with them, maybe you're partnered with them, maybe they're helping you, maybe you've been to their presentations, whatever. They exist, and they are all over the place, and it's amazing how many of them there actually are. And in the beginning, I was guilty of just telling those stories. And the problem with just telling those stories, even if they're great stories, I know some great 8-figure earners, and my previous co-host of this podcast, he was an 8-figure earner, came from being a chiropractor, and built a huge network marketing business because he wanted a different lifestyle. And, it's a great story. It was a phenomenal story. And it was one that we used a lot, and I used a lot. I've got another friend in another company who was a stay-at-home mom 10 years ago. Now she's making upwards of $500,000 a month. And her husband, who was a doctor, now is the stay-at-home because as soon as she was making so much money, he didn't see a need to keep doctoring. And, there are great stories like that all over the place. But when we just use the unicorn stories, people can't see themselves in them. So we need to make sure we have stories all up and down the line. And one of the things I learned from a good friend of mine who has been on this podcast before, who services moms for the most part and parents through her blogs and things like that, but she's done some really cool things in network marketing as well over the years. And she put in the masses. And she put in the masses not by talking about the unicorn stories, but talking about the simple stories. Like, hey, this mom over here got in and, spent 10 hours in the first couple weeks working on the business, built up a little bit of a base, and now has enough money to cover dance lessons. Has enough money to cover ice time for the hockey team or whatever it is. Just like that extra $200, $300, $400, $500 a month, people can see themselves giving up a little bit of time to get that. And that effort in exchange for that result is worth it to them, and they can see themselves going forward for that. And if you can get them that, then some of them are going to make the choice to go even further. Some of them are going to be like, wow, I got dance lessons taken care of, and they're just going to move on, and they're not going to do anything else, and that's okay too. So as we think about the stories that we're telling, we get so wrapped up in this idea of telling the unicorn story, the ultimate success story, but we need to sometimes just pull back a little bit and tell more of the stories that are realistic. Grab stories from different ranks, grab stories from different situations within your company so you can kind of hit the different levels so they can find one that they can relate to. Maybe you want to tell the unicorn story because it can happen, but then maybe you want to tell the story just about the person that had a full-time job and worked the business really hard for 2 years and were able to replace their income and are now living, comfortably with the same income without having all the work stress. Maybe it's the part-time person that did just want to cover their car payments and have a little less financial stress every single month. Grab as many stories as you can, and you're going to get stories by listening to presentations from other people within your company. You're going to get stories from talking to other people within your upline. Make sure you call and get all of your upline stories. You need to get those. You need to have an upline that's supportive. So you need to call and talk to them and see what stories they have, because you never know who's going to relate to who. So call as far up the food chain as you can possibly figure out, and then just talk to people. Keep talking to people. Keep collecting those stories. Those stories are going to just keep piling into your toolbox, and you're going to consistently have them there. And when the right situation comes up, you're going to pull out the right story, and you're going to use it to increase and more effectively close more people, get more people into your business, get more people excited because they can see themselves doing it because they've heard of a story of somebody else doing it before. Even better, if you can get that person who did it before on the phone with them, do that as well. But in short, we've all heard the saying, facts tell, stories sell. And it's true. I'm a very factual person. I like data. I like analytics. I like knowing the ins and outs of everything. So, I like all of that stuff. But I am also a rarity. Most people hate that stuff. And the amount of pain I put myself through in life trying to sell people with facts, it's a lesson I don't need to learn twice. As soon as I got good at telling stories, as soon as I got good at being able to relate to people and relate the proper story to them, life got so much easier. So anyways, all right, I got to go crank out day 28 now because it is actually day 28. appreciate you guys. As always, look forward to seeing you around the social media profiles. The best way to get a hold of me is to just direct message me over on LinkedIn. That's where I'm hanging out, spending most of my time these days. Otherwise, check out the allinnetworker.com website. And until then, I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.